Steph Curry came out and became the latest NBA player to question basic science. All right? So let's go here for a moment. We had Kyrie Irving a while back who questioned whether or not the earth was round, I think, right? He said the earth was flat. And now Steph Curry has come out and says he doesn't believe that man has gone on the moon before. NASA has offered to allow him the next time he is in Houston to tour their facility with all the moon rocks and all the moon apparatus and everything else. This is somewhat funny, right? To just blatantly not believe something that is 100% true, all right? That is somewhat funny and entertaining content. It's also evidence of why we shouldn't care about athlete opinions on anything other than their sport. Because all they do is play a sport for a living. They can have an opinion, right? They can have whatever opinion they want. They can share it. But the idea that we, as reasonably intelligent people, have to have a belief that Steph Curry knows anything at all other than how to run an offensive system with the Golden State Warriors is, I think, an entirely fair position to have. We have been on the moon. This is 100% real. Steph Curry's going to sit around and be like, oh, I hate Donald Trump because he says stuff is fake news. Donald Trump has never in his life said anything as ridiculous as man has not been on the moon. Never. Donald Trump in his entire life has never said anything as ridiculous as the earth is flat. Both of those are insanely dumb ideas, okay, which are objectively untrue. Somebody just said, there's more evidence the NBA is rigged than that the moon landing is fake. Way more evidence that the NBA is fake. But I got to tell you, this is just further evidence of why you shouldn't take any athlete's opinion on anything remotely serious or interesting, because most of them haven't read very much. Most of them aren't that well educated. Most pro athletes in general play a sport for a living. You all went to school. Most of you went to high school. Most of you went to college. How often was the smartest person in your class also the best athlete? Wherever you were, especially if it's men, by and large, athletes are not the smartest people in the classroom. In fact, I would bet almost never, if you went to a decent school, was the athlete, the best athlete in the school, also the smartest person, or even one of the smartest people. That's because usually great gifts aren't distributed across the board. In other words, usually somebody isn't incredibly good looking, a 99.99% athlete, and a 99.99% genius. That would be really unfair. If Bill Gates and LeBron James were the same person, that would be really unfair to the rest of us, right? And if we said Bill Gates, Leonardo DiCaprio, and LeBron James all rolled into one were the same person, that would be really damn unfair. That would be a freakishly genius, good-looking, brilliant athlete. That would be unfair to the rest of the world. We'd be like, damn, as if it wasn't enough that Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, whoever you want to pick, the smartest man in the world, or the United States, also was the best athlete. That would be a tremendous upset. Now, there are certainly smart athletes, but they're smart for athletes. And this is an important distinction that needs to be made. The bar is set much lower for an athlete. You say yourself, when you say like, oh, that's pretty smart. He's smart for an athlete. Like, I'm athletic for a talk radio show host. I'm not athletic at all. I'm good looking for a writer, right? Like, there's all these undercutting that go on when you're trying to contextualize where exactly somebody is, right? Oh, he's smart for an athlete. Oh, he's not bad looking for a writer. I remember when I first started going into the press box, my buddy Chris Vernon said, hey, you're in rough shape if you're the ugliest dude in the press box. There are a lot of ugly dudes in the press box. Fat, misshapen. There's a reason why they make a living as writers, and not as TV people. By and large, TV people, good looking, right? If you're in a cosmetic industry, you go into a press box, best looking people there, they tend to be on TV. I'm okay looking for, pretty good looking for a writer. I'm a decent athlete for a sports talk radio host. Most athletes, not that smart. And if they are smart, they're smart for an athlete. I would just tell you, while this will all get played for laughs and I'll have fun with it tomorrow and talk about all the stupid things that I used to believe or still do believe that could be conspiracy theories, what Steph Curry said and what Kyrie Irving said is evidence of the fact that most athletes are not that well educated and that many of them believe things that are fundamentally not true. And so if that is the case, why would we then decide, you know who the most brilliant social strategist of all time is? Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick can't even talk for 5 minutes without making himself look like a huge hypocrite. There's a reason why he's gone silent and he never talks to the media. Because when he talked to the media, he ended up saying things like, Cubans are a lot more free than us. Police officers are modern-day slave catchers. Fidel Castro is a great leader, but every American president is racist. When he talked, he demonstrated that he was actually dumb and not intelligent. Maybe a little bit smart for an athlete, not smart for the general public. Okay? Think about that when you value opinions and ask yourself whether you really want athletes and actors and anybody else to be our stalwart, virtue signaling leaders when it comes to complex issues in the world.